You tried to make your budget, but you gave up on it. You tried to start paying off your debt, but you didn't get very far. You tried to stop spending so much, but unfortunately, that didn't last either. We just get used to doing things a certain way, but do we even know why we are doing it that way? I didn't know either, but I do now. Let me show you how I finally figured out how to solve all three of those problems my way, a little bit of a different way, and what some people might even consider an unpopular way. And here is where I had to change the way that I was doing everything. Just forget about what I thought was normal, today's way of doing things, the online, the digital, the automated. I actually had to realize and more importantly admit that today's way of doing things was actually my problem. Now, hear me out. I mean, how could I seriously expect my entire financial situation to just correct itself when I hadn't actually tried anything different than how I had been doing it all along? So I decided to try the cash method to stop my spending. And before you click out, because this is unpopular, you're not going to have to pay your bills with cash or anything like that. You'll still do that today's way, just automated, auto pay, however you're paying your bills, because in the end, paying the bills is not our problem. It's what we do with the rest of the money, what's left after we pay the bills. And this is not a new way by any means. This system where you give every dollar that you make a place to go as soon as you get it has been around for quite some time. But I had never actually done this myself, not technically anyway. When I was younger in my 20s, yes, I used cash a lot more. I think everyone did, but not quite like this. This is actually really intentional. This is planned. It has our goals, short and long term, attached to it. This whole process is very eye opening. Now, the last time that I did my cash envelopes on the channel with you was 3 weeks ago. In the meantime, I did continue to add to my envelopes over the past couple weeks, but now I want to show you where I am and how I've been doing so far this year. I have 3 regular binders. They hold my categories of sinking funds, high priority discretionary spending, and what we call savings challenges. Then I had to recently pay a shortage on my escrow account, and I am rebuilding that part of my 6-month emergency fund back up by using this, which is another savings challenge. I will also be letting you guys in on what impulse purchases I resisted or didn't resist, how many no buy days I have racked up, and just what's been going on around here in general. So, what I would like to do with you today is just have you see what I am doing, just check it out and see what you think as we go. But I would also like you to bring up Notepad on your phone, or maybe go get a piece of paper and a pen and jot down any questions that you might have during the video. Then at the end of the video, get into that comment section and ask whatever was confusing, what you didn't get, what seems off to you. No right or wrong here. We all started somewhere. And if this is not new to you, I want you to get in that comment section and see where you can help. If you read a question and you know that you can give that person some clarity, you could potentially give them that little boost of confidence that they needed to go ahead and start something new and change their finances for good. And what I'm going to do is go through them later in the week and grab some of the really good ones to answer in my next video, or maybe 2, depending on how many I get. Okay, I think we're ready. Let's get into it. Okay, so the cash that I just put out, this is what I have left after my bills are covered, some other personal savings, and our retirement is already taken care of. This 747 is what I have left. Now, my pay is not consistent. Some things are paid monthly, some are paid bi-weekly, some could even be a one-time payment only. So that actually makes me feel like doing this is even more important. When you have a fluctuating income, you want to make sure that you're saving more in the good months to supplement the not so good months. Okay, so let's take a look at what is called a cash planning sheet. This is where I take that $747, I put it in my calculator, and I just start deducting. And I've got groceries up here for $150, and that is always going to be first. Then this just becomes a priority list after that. And things change between paydays. So one check, I might need to add more than usual here, and I can take from somewhere else to make that happen. Again, there is no wrong way to do this. There are no rules, and you will get better as you go. You'll see what I mean as we go along. And let's go ahead and start with my sinking funds. Some of you might have been wondering when I showed it, what are sinking funds? These are things that you build up over time and you know that they are eventually coming up. So let's see what I have. The first one I have is car insurance. I pay this every 6 months. And in order to have the full amount when it's due, I need to put away $25 every week. So let's go ahead and mark off 25, and I'm up to 50, 70, 90, 95, 100. And next up is my out of pocket. The goal on this is $2,000, and that is for next year. And again, I did the math. I need to be putting away $42 every week in order to have that saved up. So we're going to put 20, 40, 1, and 2. And I now have 100, 20, 40, 60, 65, 66, 67, 68. 168. Next is car maintenance. And I am able to put away 25 for this one. This does not have a set amount. This one is just whatever I can afford to put away because it definitely all adds up. So let's go ahead and mark off one of our $25 spots. And car maintenance has 50, 70, 80, 85, 90. Next up is house repairs. Again, this is another one that I don't have a set amount or a goal date, I should say. I don't have necessarily a goal date in mind. I just want to be able to put away as much as I can. I've made each of the symbols worth $25. So let's go ahead and add the 25 for this week, and I've got 125 total. Next up is the pool. I have $15 budgeted for this one. Each symbol is worth 5, so I'm going to mark off 1, 2, 3 of those. And I have 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. And the last one in the sinking funds is home goods, and I'm actually going to skip that one this week. And next up, we are going to add to the 100 envelope challenge. The overall goal on this one is $3,032. That is the amount that I had to take out of my 6-month emergency fund in order to pay the shortage on my escrow. This was our first year in this house, and the taxes were a bit off. There is no time limit necessarily on this, but I would like to get it back into my 6-month emergency fund ASAP. And for this one, I have budgeted $50. So I'm going to put 5 $10 bills in here. As you can see, it says save $10 for each pocket in your binder. Okay, I've got all 5 of those in there. Let's go ahead and mark this off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And next up, let's do my spending envelopes. And we start with our grocery budget. And there are two of us and a sweet little boy who also eats human food, and we're all part of the 150 a week. And I have gotten pretty dang good at sticking with that 150 a week for our grocery budget. Groceries used to be my number one spending category. It was by far my biggest money sucker. We were just a total mess with food, and it took me a long time to finally get my grocery budget dialed in. But in the end, the amount of money that I am saving, that's what's basically going into all of these other categories, that grocery money that I'm now saving. Believe me, I am actually embarrassed at the amount of money we were spending on food. It really was just total nonsense, you guys. Okay, but I did do that cash planning sheet, and then we immediately did a pickup at Sam's, and we spent $105 on the food. So I have $45 left for the week. But I had the 150 already planned out. So I'm going to take 40. I'm going to have to get some change. I need to go get a 5. Okay, I got a 5 out of my purse. So I've got my 45. This is correct. And the money that you saw me take out, that will actually just go back into my checking account because I did use my debit card to pay at Sam's. And real quick, I wanted to tell you guys our grocery store was doing a buy one, get one on this organic chicken. So I went ahead and bought 4 packs, right? So 2 of them were basically free. We came home and we made one of them, and the chicken, I don't know what was going on there, but it was just weird and gross. It was not good. So we ended up taking it back to the store, the other 3 unopened packs anyway, and they did refund us the money. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there for you guys. If something that you purchased at the grocery store does not look right, keep that receipt and take it back. They will give you your money back. And that was, I think, around $25 that we ended up getting back for that chicken. Okay, and what's up next? Okay, Uhtred. As you can see, he's had a few little things this past week. He had his nails cut, and that was $20. I accidentally nipped the edge of his quick one time, and I will never do that again. It happened like 2 years ago, and it still haunts me. I let the vet do that. So that cost $20. And I ordered him some chews for his gut health. His allergies have just been so bad since we moved back to Florida. He licks his paws and his ears are itchier than usual. So my hope is that we might see some improvement. I would love to cut the Apoquel and the shots that he has to get. I hate loading him up on a bunch of meds. Oh, and that's not all. He also needs this. He just took the last one the other day. He takes it on the 10th of every month, and that costs $211. So I'm going to need that by March 10th so that he is ready to go with his next dose. So with that being said, I'm actually not going to take any of this money out of his envelope. And on top of that, he will be getting more than he usually gets, $100. And this is what I meant earlier about adjusting other categories. In order to give him more, I didn't put any in home goods because that is just not a necessity. And I cut back on a Sam's Club envelope that you're going to see later because that's just me trying to get a little buffer for Sam's. That place stresses me out. Again, not a necessity, but Uhtred, necessity, Mr. Top Priority. And he's up to 150, 170, 190, 210, 220. And you know what this tells me is I need to just up his amount in general, which might mean that I continue taking from other places until I feel like his envelope is a bit more padded. Okay, next up is household. And as you can see, I did buy some things at Sam's for the house. I got all of those things. I swear they all run out at the same time. I think I needed laundry detergent, dish detergent, toilet paper, paper towels, and the Finish jet dry stuff that goes in the dishwasher. So all of that was $80.92. So we'll just go with $80 even. And I was going to put 30 in today, but if we subtract that 80, that envelope actually owes me 50. So I'm going to pay myself back 20, 40, 50. This will go back in my checking account, and I still have 50 left in household. Okay, and next up is Two Sister B's expenses. I do have some money that I spent there, was $22, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm not gonna take this out quite yet. I'm still trying to kind of figure out a realistic number to put in this envelope. So I will be adding 45 today. And I'm gonna give this one a little time. I'm gonna keep tabs over here on what I'm spending for Two Sister B's. And I will take it all out at once. I'm up to 20, 40, 60, 75. And next up is my health envelope. I'm going to give this one 20. I did just write down on a list today that I would like to go up to 8-pound weights. I've been using 5 and they're starting to get a little too easy for me. So I think I might be using some of this to get some 8-pounders. And the last one in here is a monthly tracker. When I've completed this, I will have $150. This envelope each month will always be going towards a little bit of extra principal towards the mortgage. And this week, I am able to put in $37, and that actually clears out the top 3 rows. All right, so let's add the 20, 30, 5, 6, and 7. And this now has 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and 10, 15, 20, 126. Okay, and next up is my no spend for 2025. This is more commonly known now as no buy days. And I have one rule: if it is not budgeted ahead of time, also known as impulse buys, then that means I had a spend day. And I use green and red. Red means I spent, green means I did not spend. Well, it doesn't necessarily mean I didn't spend that day. It just means that I didn't do impulse purchases that day. So let's see how I did. I had 2 spend days. One was on the 6th and one was on the 9th. Now, the one on the 6th wasn't actually an impulse buy, but I have not been putting away money for birthdays since the beginning of the year, and my daughter's birthday was on February 6th. So her money came out of our buffer. Oopsie. So obviously that's something I'm going to have to work on this week so that doesn't happen again. And then on the 9th, it was the Super Bowl. We didn't plan on it, but we were in the mood for pizza and wings. So worth it, especially since we have been eating better and walking every day. So it was nice to have a little treat on Super Bowl Sunday. That pizza was extra good. So with all of that in mind, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no spend days, and I will put away $1 a day for each day that I do not impulsively buy anything. So I'm going to add that 5, and my no spend is up to 20, 30, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39. And just in case you're wondering, I never really know where the no spend money is going to go. It just depends. But either way, it's money that I'm saving. And next up is see it, like it, want it, save it. And this is one of my favorite challenges. How you do this one is step 1, you unfollow all social media influencers that you follow for the sole purpose of items that they show. Step 2, you unsubscribe from all stores or companies that alert you to sales or restocked items. And then step 3, you're going to save that money instead. You're going to put the item here. How much was it? Here is where you choose to save either 25 or 50% of that total cost, and that is what your savings will be. So the last 2 weeks, I did have some nail polish, and I'm not going to lie here, the only reason I didn't cave is because it said it wouldn't be here for a while, like a week or 2, I don't know. I wanted it now, so that supply and demand issue is the only thing that saved me that $12. And then this face cream popped up, and I do not need this, but I did think about it. In fact, it made it all the way into the cart, and I did a save for later on that one. Okay, and what was it this week? This week was a pretty big purchase that I said no to. Well, really, it was kind of more in the middle of last week, but I really wanted this vanity for the bathroom, but I could not justify the $500. Mine wasn't that bad. So instead, I repainted it. I repainted the medicine cabinet and the walls, and I saved $500. So, since this challenge is actually my slow way of saving up for some new windows for the house, I am really excited to put 25% of that $500 towards that. Something I actually need. Oh my gosh, you guys, $125. I have never put that much in this game. And this one really does show you literally how much you would have spent, and it gives you a spot to place it so that you feel good about saying no instead of just saying no. You know why you are saying no. So let's put this into the envelope and see what we're up to. Okay, I have 120, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 2, and 3. 153. Okay, so let's go through the rest of the savings challenges really quickly. The next one is my words of affirmation. And this is the challenge that I use strictly for my self-care items. You choose a positive adjective that best describes you. You write it here. You save $1 per letter. Vowels are worth 2. And for this week, I have chosen the word determined. And let's add that up and see what I owe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And I am up to 10, 20, 30, 35, 44 for my self-care envelope. Okay, Sam's Club, as I said, I lowered this one this week. I'm just going to be putting in $10. And it is now up to 20, 40, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, date night is getting 30. And we are actually meeting one of my best friends tomorrow night. So some of this money will be going to that. 20, 40, 60, 80, 90. Nice. And if we spend it all, then we just start all over. Next up, we have the For Fun envelope. And for this one, each week, I just wanted to show you guys a different savings challenge that you can do. This one is called Grow at Your Own Pace. I love the way it looks. It is super cute, and it's really good if you are a beginner. After you have this one completed, you will have saved $50. So for today, I want to complete step 1, which is $4, and step 2 for 5, 6, 7, and 12. So let's add the $12 to the 11 I already have, and we're up to 23. And that leaves me with $17. That was kind of the extra that I had in my budget, so I like to go ahead and use that for random games. And this money from this envelope is going towards a patio door. And how you play this one is you get a coin, you choose whether you're going to land on heads or tails, you make a bet. If you get it, you save that amount. If you don't get it, you still save $2. So whether you get it or not, you're still going to be saving. Okay, and I'm going to bet all $17 that I'm going to land on heads. Let's see how I do. I did. I landed on heads. So that means the $17 that I have left will be added to the 10, 15, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 for a total of 41. So I wonder what you think of this method. Did watching this video help you to see how it can really be effective in keeping you from overspending. I had mentioned at the beginning of the video how we get stuck in these certain patterns, just continuing to do what we always do. And you've probably heard that saying of how humans are creatures of habit. And that can be good if the habits are good. But how often do we stop and think about our current money habits? Why do we make a minimum payment on a credit card and then spend it again as soon as it clears? Why do we not track what we're spending on our debit cards, but then act surprised when we cut ourselves so short till next payday? Why do we keep putting more stuff on Afterpay when we really don't know how much we have already coming out from the stuff we already bought? Why do we have everything set up to paperless billing, but we don't know what the interest rates on our credit cards are? We don't know how much our electric bill is until it's actually taken out of our checking account. We don't know what our total balance owed to Capital One is. For me, I think that I just remembered back to a time when everything was not automated and online. I used to receive paper bills that I looked at, and I mean actually looked at. When I hold a piece of paper, I am comprehending what I am looking at. When it's on a screen, I just kind of look over it really quickly and click out. And that's if I even downloaded the bill at all, which most of the time I didn't. And I'm not the only one. One study showed that 78% of people who received their statements in the mail said that they actually reviewed their transactions. Of those who received the bill electronically, only 43% said that they went online to review transaction details. And if you are saying to yourself right now, but they charge a few dollars for the paper bills. Yes, they do. Have you ever wondered why? Do you think it's because they want to save the environment? Or do you think it's because it saves them millions of dollars? I think about younger people who have 20 stacked after payments coming out of their checking account. Could you imagine if all of those reminders to pay were on paper and coming in the mail, 20 of them every month? Do you think that seeing that stack might have an impact on them? Those could potentially be very powerful, tangible reminders. Okay, you guys, questions. Leave them in the comments for me and my seasoned helpers, and make sure to watch my next video to see if your question will be in the spotlight. If you found this information helpful and valuable, please hit the like button so that others can see it too. I will see you soon, but in the meantime, check out this next video that YouTube has chosen just for you. I bet you'll like it.